hold on, we don't do this and I don't feel safe here. So it's your body trying to protect you essentially. Wouldn't it be cool if I could be like that guiding force for other people? You're protected because it's your community, but like put it out on the internet for everyone was like a little bit daunting for me. Start somewhere where you can get consistent.
Yeah.
Focus on getting more people moving, and yeah, I love it.
Hello everyone, welcome to another video. If you're new, my name is Joanna Wilson. Today I'm joined by my chamomile tea and by my good friend Sophie Brace.
Hi guys.
So our specific topic that we're chatting about today is flexibility training, which is your speciality. But before we dive in, do you want to let everybody know who you are?
So I'm Sophie, mainly coach flexibility, but I used to be a gymnast, went to do speech therapy at uni, qualified as a personal trainer, and then thought, don't really like it, and I'm gonna just niche down, focus on getting more people moving, and yeah, I love it, and it's good fun, and can't wait to tell you about it.
If we dive straight in then, I guess you mentioned you used to be a gymnast.
Yeah, so I mean, I would never class myself as like the most flexible. You know, those kids that develop this crazy amount of flexibility and then they just maintain it for the rest of their lives. Like, that's not me. I think it's interesting on like the knowledge side of things because I knew how I had developed flexibility in the terms of stretching, and I know my own body very well, being able to judge intensity. But if someone said, I want to learn how to do the middle splits, I would have not been able to, I think, safely take them there with the knowledge I had then, if that makes sense. Now I have a lot more knowledge. I realised that I did have all of the bits, but I just didn't quite know the proper ways to implement it. Which is pretty cool, really, because, I mean, any gymnast, we've probably all experienced the techniques and the structure, but I think even probably our coaches didn't really realise the science behind it back then.
And how did you learn that?
So once I did my PT course, and then we went into lockdown, and I realised that there was such a big influx of people wanting to get more flexible and, well, learn the splits and basically learn to handstand because no one had anything to do at home. And I think I'd done a little bit of stuff on my PT course, and then I came across this person on Instagram. He was putting out loads and loads of great knowledge of stuff that I'd never even come across before. And he had this course, and I signed up, and I literally took this course, and I was like, wow, like mind blown. And so once I had a bit more of a foundation of that, then I just started taking classes online. I wasn't fully qualified before I started teaching. I started with the very basics, and then the more knowledge that I acquired, I could talk confidently about it, and I could actually really get people results.
It's not something that I think people come across that often. People train a sport, or they go to the gym, or they run. What is flexibility training?
I think that there's a few different categories now, and I think now I've been teaching it for a really long time, I'm starting to learn it, because it depends which niche you teach in, right? Because you could have someone that teaches flexibility that solely teaches dancers, and they are going to focus on a lot of splits, a lot of tilts, a lot of all of that flexibility, all of that strength that needs to get gymnasts or dancers to that level. You've then got your average person that wants to learn how to do the splits. You've then got your everyday gym goer or your everyday athlete, in the sense of they only probably need a specific amount of flexibility to do their sport to the best of their ability. But also, the more flexible you are, the more you can develop strength in your range, the safer and more durable you build your body to be. I don't know if you've seen like those videos of like tennis players like sliding into the splits to like get a shot. It's very difficult to pin it down, and I think it depends which niche you decide to go into. But I think the aim of flexibility training as a whole is to develop range, develop strength in that range, so that you can perform any task or any sport or activity that you want to do to the best of your ability. And
so do you think it's supplements?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think...
Other things?
Yeah, I think it should be something that complements other things that are going on in your life, and I think that's the good thing about it. And as you learn more about it, you can very easily fit some good flexibility work into your routine without having to spend a whole session on it, because the way you approach your flexibility training should be the way you approach any strength training or any skill training. You have a goal, create a program, you progressively overload and progressively get harder. And I think a lot of people don't realise that. So yeah, that's been a big part of what I do really, is just trying to navigate which niche I really fit into. I feel like I do have like a really good niche for the beginners, the beginner people, and taking complete beginners all the way up to the splits.
Okay.
My whole thing is that I'd rather be the person that gets someone into it and teaches them and gives them some clarity in quite a confusing space.
So where would you start then, and what does flexibility training look like? I feel like, as with anything new for people, knowing what to do and how to start and what that looks like is quite a big first step.
The two main things I would get anyone to do if they were brand new to flexibility training. So the first thing would be to work on increasing someone's stretch tolerance in the same stretch. So let's, for example, say we get you into the splits, get you tolerating 30 seconds. Once you can tolerate 30 seconds in that position for 3 sets and you get no pain, the week later or 2 weeks later, you do 45 seconds. Once you can tolerate 45 seconds for the same range of motion, you move up to 60, because what that does is stretch tolerance theory, where the longer you spend in a position, the more your body gets used to it, and the easier it is for you to relax and for you to access more range. But then the second step would be to start developing and just exploring moving in and out of ranges that you have actively. So you've got your passive flexibility, which is where you relax into it, but then you also want to be able to use it. It's getting people to use their muscles, use their strength to pull in and out of positions they don't tend to use that often. Like some people in the gym, they're just half squatting all the time. They never really reach full range because they don't go there. So those would be my two main things.
And I think one thing that I found fascinating since working with you and understanding what it is you do and how it is you do it is that sort of strength element. It's never something that I considered before. I feel like, I don't know, lots of people stretch. You just you limber up a little bit. You do like 10 minutes at the start of your session, 10 minutes at the end of your session, and then when actually, I guess the science of stretching and flexibility training, it makes a lot of sense. So can you talk about that?
I actually didn't know this either. No one ever spoke to me about this. And you can understand it more in adults than kids, but we have a resistance to stretch. It's called our stretch reflex. And if it feels unsafe for us, our body's just going to put the brakes on. You know, if you've never done the splits before and then you ask your body to do it, there will come a point where it's like, hold on, why? We don't do this. And I don't feel safe here. You're going to hurt yourself. So it's your body trying to protect you, essentially. So the strength element of flexibility comes in, because if we can teach our body that we can get into that position, demonstrate that we are really strong there and we're safe, when we come to then stretch, it's like, cool, I'm in the safe zone here. I can relax. I don't have to be so tense. I don't have to slam those brakes on. It's not a quick process, it's a slow process of getting stronger in end range positions and then following up with that static stretching to kind of develop and create new range. People love to have this all or nothing. It's either stop stretching, do all strength work, and like people really love to bash the static stretching element, but it's super important because that is how you develop new range. That's been the one thing that's really fascinated me, actually. If you are strong already, how quick you can see the progress, rather than, you know, stretching hamstrings, and they're just going to get like, yes, they may be flexible, you're not going to have the strength, so if you try and use it, you're at a much higher risk of getting injured, really. And also, if you continuously just trying to push range that you don't have, you're on a one-way road to an injury.
So interesting.
It's cool, right?
Yeah.
There are a lot of people that explain it with a lot more sciencey words, but I think when you get down to the nitty-gritty, like, it is as simple as that. Get stronger in stretch positions, stretch, get more flexible. And it's been really cool. I absolutely love it. It's been really game-changing for me to just know that you've got like a little community of people that you've taught to cut through the... Can you swear on here?
Yeah.
Like the bullshit. You've got a lot of people that are putting out stuff that are just wasting people's time. And the one thing that I wanted to do with the membership, I was like, I'm never going to give you fluff. I'm going to do it because it's like a goal based, you know, like we're working towards something and we're doing this for a reason, and I'll tell you what the reason is. Sometimes you do just want to move because your body wants to move, but also if you're chasing a goal, you can be structured and specific about it, like you would be if you wanted to PR a squat.
Why do you think you chose flexibility for this space to go into as a coach?
I think it was a combination of things. I think one, I saw a gap 2, I was in a bit of like a chaotic space with my actual like gym training, and I just didn't have the appeal. As much as I love actually coaching, and I do take, you know, normal clients, I didn't have the same like love, energy and drive, because I've always known how good it feels for, and probably you know as well, like, you know, when you work so hard for something, that is something skill based. It's not something to do with like how you look. It's literally like what your body can do. And I was like, wouldn't it be cool if I could be like that guiding force for other people? And I've never really seen myself as that really at all, because I'm very, very shy. I think I had the nature to talk it through and explain it, and I was like, I'm just gonna give it a bash. And I think because I was so interested in it, and I was like so fascinated about, I was like, I'm gonna do this.
What's next?
I have a little online studio now. I've had that for the last 3 years. We are just about to, I call it like evolve again. At the moment, everything I do is follow along, which I love, and I feel like I've had a real opportunity to not only, you know, teach people and get them to follow along, but talk through the exercises. What's next is we'll have program-based programs on the app, so rather than if they didn't have time to follow along, you could just go into the gym and do it. I did like a 12 days of Flexmas challenge for Christmas, because I've been teaching online on the studio for about 3 years, and it all has been mostly behind a paywall. I felt like what I was doing, I wanted to protect it, and I wanted to develop that community, and I've been so lucky to have so many people support it over the years. I just wanted to do something to say a little thank you, really. So we did like 12 days and a new 10-minute flexibility class, and I'm actually really loving it. It's been really nice and refreshing, but to squeeze things into 10 minutes to show people what I do and how I do it. And I was like quite nervous at first, because when people are coming to your service because they're paid for it, you know they want to be there. You're protected because it's your community, but like put it out on the internet for everyone was like a little bit daunting for me. And yeah, just keep growing, evolving and expanding, really. I want to hopefully teach and get as many people involved in just moving as much as they can.
Final question then, what advice would you give to somebody who's looking to start out a flexibility journey, and other than Flexmas?
Go do Flexmas. I would say is just start. Just try stretching once or twice a week. Pick 4 stretches, one for your hamstrings, one for your quads, one for your shoulders, one for your chest. Hold each one for 30 seconds. See how you get on. See if you can do that for 2 weeks. If you can get consistent with that, then up it to 2 sets. You know, I would just say find the easiest way into it that you can be consistent with. Even if that's, okay, at the end of each gym session, I'm going to commit to doing 2 stretches, or I'm going to commit to doing 4 stretches 3 times a week. Start somewhere where you can get consistent.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I found that so interesting. I think people will find it massively interesting as well.
Hope so.
Thank you for joining us. Thanks you guys for watching it. I don't know if I'll see you again before Christmas.
Probably not.
Probably not. So this may be the only video that we do together, but if we always be together and do more content. So if we want Sophie back on the channel and we want to chat about anything else, then let us know down in the comments. There'll be lots of links there, including a link to your Flexmas. We'll put that in there as well.
Guys.
Keep smashing it. Remember, anything's possible if you just